What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Today I want to answer a question that we've been getting asked a lot, which is, are the theme parks safe? So I know that this really does not need any type of background. I think everybody really knows what has been going on. And with the theme parks now being open for at least a month, and I say that for Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, they've been opened up for much longer than that, since June roughly. And it's a question that we've been getting asked enough that it seems like maybe we need to kind of give our 2 cents on it. You know, in July, we really had this huge surge of COVID cases here in Florida, and thankfully it is starting to kind of digress. It's going back down, and I think a really great thing about that is that nothing has really changed for that to go back down. They have closed bars down, so there isn't that, but basically all businesses have continued to run as normal, or as normal as possible. But no real change in the theme parks. Now, a few things are changing for the theme parks because of less tourism. So we've seen now some layoffs from Universal. We've seen reduced park hours from both Universal and from Disney World. And at that being said, we've seen Halloween Horror Nights canceled. We've seen Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party canceled. And yet Busch Gardens, which is a park that we still have not yet been to since it's reopened, is going to be doing their Hallow Screams, which is kind of exciting, assuming that it's done properly and safely. So is it safe to be back here? I mean, I think a lot of you guys know everything that has been put into motion, right? So we've got temperature scanners. You cannot enter a theme park without first having your temperature scanned, and this is across the board everywhere, and I think that that's great. And then of course we've got masks. Face coverings have to be worn at all times throughout the parks, except for if you're sitting down in a restaurant. If you are in a relaxation zone and socially distanced, if you're eating or drinking, socially distanced away from others while you're out and about. And then on top of that, we also have social distancing measures that have been put in place. Almost, I think, pretty much every single queue line you step into, you're going to see markings on the ground. And it's really just you and your party stand on that marking, and the party in front of you stands on theirs, and the party behind you stands on that one, and you just kind of move down the line as you go. And I think that's been really great. It's been followed pretty well, especially at Disney. It probably could be better at other parks, but when you're in a queue line, what can you do? They can't staff a queue line with a bunch of team members and cast members to regulate that. And we also have a bunch of hand sanitizer dispensers. They are as common as trash cans, it seems like, especially at Disney. You get some hand san as you enter the queue. You have hand sanitizer before you even step onto the attraction. And then you have hand sanitizer as you exit. And then after that, it's just randomly scattered throughout. So anytime you feel like you need hand san, it's there. Now, with all of that stuff, and I know that that's a quick rundown, but I think a lot of people probably know that already of what's been happening. You know, do we feel safe when we go into the parks? With that being said, are the theme parks safe? You know, there's only been maybe 2 times, and this has only happened at Disney, where we've gone into an attraction and one of the dispensers has been empty. And you wonder, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if you're really worried about it? So what we do, we always have a handy dandy little hand san dispenser. So this one is a goofy themed one, which is kind of cool. I think we got this, we might have bought it at the parks, or I think somebody had sent it to us a long time ago and never used it until now. So if this runs out, we've got some other like hand sans we can just pour it in there, and it's, it's festive when we go to Disney. But I don't think that we've ever needed to feel like we can't touch something on an attraction, right? So what did I mean by that? So I think a great example is Buzz, right? When we went and rode Buzz, we had hand sanitizer as we entered the queue, and then we had hand sanitizer as we were about to step onto the actual ride vehicle, and then we had it afterwards. And with that being, there being so much, I understand that I can't control somebody behind me or in front of me, but I can control myself. And so in those more high-touch areas, normally I will use hand sanitizer as I enter the queue, before I get on the attraction, and when I get off, just because I'm touching things on the ride vehicle. And, maybe we have a false sense of security, but I felt pretty safe riding that attraction and touching the blaster and things like that. The other big thing is mask wearing. So there are times, and we see this more specifically at Universal and SeaWorld, where guests do not wear their masks properly. It's down below their nose, or they do this real funny one where they got it above their nose, but then like they lift the mask up and it's just like on their, like just above their chin. The cast members at Disney have been phenomenal at jumping on people, not literally, but letting them know, hey, you need to have that covering your nose and the bottom of your chin for it to be effective. So they're doing a great job. And for social distancing within the queue lines, again, Disney has been phenomenal about this. It's been a little bit different at Universal and SeaWorld, where we have seen a lot of people just totally disregarding the very obvious markers on the ground and observing what other people are doing. I think sometimes people are just totally clueless. And in those instances, if you start to feel unsafe inside of a queue line and you're waiting for a ride, feel free to say something to those people, because it is partly your responsibility. You have taken on that responsibility of walking into the theme park knowing full well that there is a possibility that you could get sick while you're there. It's the same thing when you get on a cruise ship. When you get on a cruise ship, we do everything in our power to keep ourselves clean, washing our hands, using hand sanitizer, but there's always a chance that you might get norovirus, which is a pretty common kind of stomach bug to get when you're on a cruise ship. It's not the cruise line's fault. They're doing everything that they can. Disney, Universal, the other theme parks are doing what is necessary to try and help you, but you also have to take part in it yourself. So keep that in mind. A lot of rambling, I understand, but do we feel safe? Yeah. I mean, we feel safe. It may be a false sense of security, but I'm telling you, I feel more safe going to Walt Disney World than I feel when I'm walking through Walmart and nobody's wearing a mask, or they aren't wearing it properly, or they're just all bunching up together in the aisles. I mean, it happens. And does it mean that it's still really safe at Disney? No. You could definitely still get anything while you're here. So just keep that in mind, but understand something, again, it is partially your responsibility once you step on property to do everything in your power to keep yourself safe as well. You may not feel the same way. Understand that this is not medical advice by any means. You have to make your own decision. Understand that it is still something that can happen. You still could get sick while you're here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave us a comment down below. Do you feel safe when you're here at the theme parks? And I will see you all in the next one.